So this is going to be a bit of an ad hoc video because there's a bunch of different stuff I want to talk about, from wave management to ganking times to a little bit of like a minion mechanics. But the first thing that I want to do is look at a couple of LCS games, and we're going to spend the most time with Team Liquid versus FlyQuest from last week. And the reason I want to spend a lot of time here is because every single fight except for one is determined by who has the most people ready to fight at the start of the fight. That's it. So basically this game is decided entirely by wave control and by pathing. And you'll see this show up over and over and over again, that when FlyQuest does well, it's because they've got numbers. And when Team Liquid does well, it's because they've got numbers. And that's the determining factor. There's a handful of quote-unquote outplays, but nothing that should decide the game necessarily. So I want to watch this, but I want to watch it exclusively looking at the minimap, and we're going to watch it on 2x speed, and then we'll watch it looking at the whole game as well. Because I just want you to watch what it looks like with so many people looking at just the minimap, how people tend to mob around certain positions, and how people tend to get outnumbered. So you have 2 top and 2 mid, then you've got the 3-man dive top that actually goes very badly for FlyQuest. They do this so bad. A dragon take, a solo kill mid, which should never happen. And then now it's all numbers from here on. You have more numbers. Look at Zoe moving. So FlyQuest wins this one with a double kill. Now you have a 5-man gank bot from FlyQuest that's met by Team Liquid with the teleport. Because Team Liquid teleports and they've got the tower, they end up winning this fight. That's good use of teleport. Then we've got a 2v1 mid that Keen never should have been a part of. Now you've got FlyQuest mobbing top again, which because they've got numbers works for them. 2 kills, no deaths. Another dragon take from Mythy. FlyQuest has more numbers on the front of this fight, and Rumble doesn't show up until too late, so they win that. Here, Team Liquid has the teleport, and so they get in and they recover this fight because they're ahead, but not great. Another X-Mythy dragon take. FlyQuest has numbers mid, so they get the kill again. Another X-Mythy dragon take. I wonder why FlyQuest lost this. FlyQuest doesn't have numbers there. Team Liquid does, plus the Gangplank ult helps them pick up that kill. FlyQuest has the numbers in the Ash Arrow here, so they get a bunch of kills here, which ends up working out pretty well. And it should net them a Baron if they don't play it really badly. Yeah, okay, they got the Baron. It looks like FlyQuest is winning this. Yeah, numbers. No, they lose. Oh yeah, double lift pops off in this fight. That's basically the game right there. But every single time FlyQuest wins a fight, they have numbers. When they lose, they don't have numbers. A couple of misplays, top lane and mid lane, really sort of gave away a lead that they could have established otherwise. But it's basically just about the numbers. So let's watch this whole thing again, but this time watching the full screen. You know what? Scratch that. We don't need to do that. You got the idea. I do want to look at a couple of other games, though. So let's watch C9 versus CLG, just the early game right here. So in this matchup, you've got Blabber on Kindred and Rainover on the Gragas. So let's look at what happens at the very beginning of the game. A level 2 gank or level 3 gank from Blabber onto Darshan. And this is not an easy kill, but a kill. Okay, so let's look at why Blabber would choose to go for this level 3 gank mid. Right, so if we're looking at the matchups, you've got a Kinnan into a Mundo. This is an AD Kinnan This is aggressive. It wants to push. So it makes sense that Blabber is going to go up there. Now, if you look at the minimap, though, right now, you can see exactly how CLG has decided to respond to this. Before they even see that Blabber is going top lane, they anticipate he's going to be going top lane. Ryze gets the shove onto Jensen, and so you have Ryze and Gragas headed bot for the 4v2. Okay, so even though, oops, let's switch back here. Even though they give up a kill top lane, which arguably if Darshan had dodged the cleavers here a little better, he probably would have survived. Yeah, that was bad. There's a 4v2 bot lane. Sneaky's going to go down, and they're going to get a hard shove into this wave, and Darshan has teleport to get back up top. So does Sneaky, but okay. Next, in Fox versus TSM, we see another Kindred, and we also see this Nocturne. And Nocturne is really good at clearing really quickly, and that's great. But the pathing that Dardoch takes here makes no sense, because Grig is going to go for a level 2 gank or level 3 gank top lane, which we can pretty much expect from this Kindred, or actually it was the level 2. And where is Dardoch? He's trying to go up there to help, but he's so late. He's like 10 seconds behind this gank. So if we're looking at like how to keep that in mind for playing around certain lanes, then you have to be aware of like this is where we expect a likely gank, and we either need to have the top laner or the mid laner backed off, or the jungler needs to be applying pressure at that same time. Just because you can clear everything doesn't mean that you necessarily should. CG versus Optic. We see Lyra on Kindred. What do you think we might be expecting? It's the level 2 gank top. This is even earlier, right? And let's watch to see how Optic reacts. So Dokla is going to go down here. Optic does nothing. Nope. Okay, they do nothing. I'm going to link this in the description for this video, but this is a video on minion wave management, and everyone should watch this because it's a really good video on sort of some mechanics behind minion waves. I also want to talk a little bit about traveling to different lanes. So let's say that you're playing a mid lane mage and you have no boots. Your travel time from mid to bot lane via this route right here is 20 seconds. If you have tier 1 boots, that same route is 18 seconds. If you have tier 2 boots, it's 15.5 or 16 seconds to make that route right there. If, however, you're running celerity and water walking and you travel through the river path, brush to brush is about 11.5 or 12 seconds. If you've got the scuttle crab, it's 9 seconds. If you've got tier 2 boots, celerity, and water walking. So if you think about that, what that means basically is that if you travel through the river and you've got tier 2 boots and the scuttle crab, if you're up against a mid laner who has no boots or even tier 1 boots, you can make it 10 to 11 seconds faster bot lane. Also, minion waves spawn 30 seconds apart. So if you have the ability to clear this minion wave in 15 seconds, which is actually a pretty slow clear, then you can hide out in a brush or behind vision over here. And the same thing applies to both bot and top if you're roaming. You can hide out and deny that vision, and they have no idea where you are. Do that 2 or 3 times and then roam, and you can bait people into this false sense of security. So the other things that I wanted to talk about here, let's see, where are they? Oh, I've closed the... Hold on, let me pull it back up here. A couple of issues about minions. So cannon minions spawn every 3 waves, and cannon minions are really good if you are going for a coordinated dive between jungle and top lane. Jungle and mid lane. So if jungle and mid are going to gank a lane, a side lane, you want to do it on a push with a cannon wave. And the reason that you want to do it on a push with the cannon wave is because that cannon minion can tank 9 turret shots, which that's more than the entire melee minion wave. That cannon wave can tank, or that cannon minion alone can tank 9 turret shots. So you've got a lot of time pushing that wave into a tower where you're going to have the numbers advantage and you can trade aggro and the minions will still be there for you. You've got a million years. So you want to gank together if you're going for a really big numbers advantage on that cannon minion wave. But cannon minions are so strong that if you don't have a push and you're ganking solo, you definitely do not want to gank on a cannon minion wave. So because they spawn basically every minute and a half, you have another cannon minion wave. Every 30 seconds, a new wave spawns. So you can base your timing around that. That's really true for top lane ganks early on in the game, especially. You'll notice none of the ganks that we saw were on cannon minion waves. They're going in either before the cannon minion wave or after, because doing it on that wave means there's so much minion damage that it's possible to turn a 1v2. There's also something that I found really interesting here on this main stats section that I didn't know about before. So I knew that minions got stronger over time. I did not know that they got stronger based on the average level of the people in the game on your team and on the number of turrets taken. So basically what this means is that minions are going to give more experience and they're going to push faster the more ahead that you are. So if you are ahead, you're actually placing a really strong time constraint on yourself because the enemy team is going to have an easier time farming up minions. Your minions are going to kill theirs faster than theirs will kill yours. So waves tend to push into them. This is especially bad if you've got one person on your team who's trying to farm up waves to catch back up, but you've taken a lot of early turrets. That person is never going to be able to do that. So if you are ahead as a team with an individual who's behind, you can really cripple your ability to actually be effective if that one person is going to farm constantly or trying to, quote, catch back up. It's better to group and to actually just try to go and mob them because you've put that pressure on yourself. We're all familiar with what it's like to take an inhibitor really early and then to not be able to get any pressure on the map. It's the same thing that happens every time you have a level advantage, every time you have a minion advantage, anything like that. So the next couple of things that I want to do in a few coming videos is talk about how we can make up some early plays, quote unquote, or predictable timings and pathings based on a few factors like who has the better push, who has the better disengage, things like that. But for now, I want to focus mainly on mobbing people and moving together. So one more time, I want to show this game right here at 2x speed so you can see just how much the numbers game controls who's doing what. It's all about pushing waves to create space to allow you to roam to get terribly outplayed by impact. That's embarrassing. But it's all about pushing waves to gain that control. Because you've got control mid there, Kindred's able to take... The control mid is what gives Kindred all of these dragons, right? Kindred can just solo them over and over and over again. But even then, FlyQuest is doing the right thing, trying to get numbers and get pressure. Pobelter can't make it in time, so he pushes mid, but this is a double kill for FlyQuest. It's definitely a win for them. This is where things go really bad for FlyQuest. They get one, but they lose two. And that's just great movement from Team Liquid, who, despite the fact that some of the waves might not be in optimal positions, right? Like there was a bunch of minions mid there, it didn't matter. Pobelter left and he came bot. They also use the Gangplank ultimate to control waves and clear waves, which is also a super effective tool they have. Again, going for numbers. This needs to be the core thing we're thinking about when we play. We're too individually minded and we're too like our unique goals minded. We would do a lot better if we would group up and actually try to make specific things happen on the map and go for kills as groups and not rely so much on mechanical outplays. Okay, that's about it. Basically, I just wanted to show what it's like when you actually group and move towards objectives instead of focusing on mechanical outplays. Talk a little bit about movement speed, and wave control. And again, I'll link this video, but make sure to watch this video on minion waves and controlling minion waves, because everything that I just talked about isn't really possible unless you can control a wave.